Or what do that mean?
So what it just says is just that you know, the fetus has a feature like ours, so anything in which you value, it has, the chance, if left undisturbed, or no, it will gain those things that you value. So to disturb it of that thing which is just going to be
That
something
doesn't
which is
have
more
no
reproducible.
value.
No, it's saying it has, well, obviously, or at least to me, it seems like you would care about future experiences, right? You don't think future things are valuable?
I don't care if future things are valuable.
Yeah, do you think future things are valuable? Like, do you care about something happening in the future? For example, do you think you would care? Do you think, like, if it was the case that in the future, right, you could, in the future, there's this thing that you have right now. In the future, it can grow to be something big, left undisturbed. But if you were to disturb it, it will no longer grow that big. Do you think you would care about that? But like, think of like a YouTube
I
channel, right?
don't think
Like,
that's the
let's
same
say,
thing as it's something in my control. And this thing, what's called? Why have? How can I put this in simple terms? How you gotta use it is I hold or possess something, and this future it can become something else,
yeah, it becomes
and I
something
can
which you value.
control it. If I was should I value or not,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm saying, like, would you
or what
value the
it
thing that you
become?
currently have? Yeah, would you value it? Like, right?
Like
Because
what?
if you like value, like, what I'm talking about is a fetus right now. Would you value the fetus? Given that, maybe currently it doesn't have any sort of value to you, but in the future it will have, the things that you value, right? Like, it is impermissible to unalive this thing because,
No, I don't. I don't
you're
value. I
depriving it.
wouldn't value something that doesn't have no moral consideration. I have no private or moral
Well, the moral
consideration. I don't.
consideration, the moral consideration is attributed towards the future experiences, right? So it is morally permissible, is pro tanto wrong to unalive something or to deprive it of its future experiences,
Wait,
right? And
what's
that's just a
wrong? Like
deprivation
destroying something that doesn't have no value? No, that can like that's
because it
like
will because it will gain that future value.
so like if you eat seeds, what's called instead of you getting a seed from outside, what's it called? I forgot what seed it is. What was it called? You get a nut, you get a seed. It can become a tree, correct? Or
Hmm.
plant seed or tomato seeds, whatever you do it. If you
Hmm.
going out and nurturing that seed,
Well,
you want to say, "Oh, I was
presumably
called."
that
Huh?
seed doesn't have it. That seed doesn't have the same exact moral value towards the fetus, right? So even if I were to say yes or no to that, I don't think it attributes the same
What do
moral
you mean?
value to
Both
the
do
fetus.
you? They don't hold no value. Like you can't say, "Oh, this is a what's it called what's the word? What's the word?
Mhm.
Amateur. What's it called? Form of a tree. So we should value trees because they help us.
Well, no, I do.
You
I do
value
value
trees,
trees.
right?
I think we all value
You
trees,
value
right?
plants,
Yeah, I
huh?
think we all value. I think we all value trees. I think we should plant. Put the plants in the ground, right? But
Yeah.
the problem here, what I was talking about is that, and I think that it doesn't attribute the same exact moral value to the fetus, right? Whether or not a tree, saving a tree or planting a tree, establishing its new life, whether or not that contributes moral value is irrelevant to me. What I'm more interested about is talking about whether or not, if we do the same to the fetus, the moral value that attributes there, and I think it attributes more moral value there. Because
No,
we're talking about a
that's not
human
what
life.
I'm trying to
What
get
what what
at. Finish.
well, you brought up the tree example, as in talking about, well, what I care if we deprive this tree of the future experience of it being able to grow into a tree, like the tree seed being able to grow into the future tree seed. But like, look, I think that it doesn't attribute the same exact moral value. I think humans are more valuable than it is trees, but I think we need trees to survive. But I don't think that that's the same exact
That's
thing
not
to
the
say
point
that
I'm trying
trees
to
are
get
reject.
at. That's not what the
Okay,
point
right.
I'm
So
trying to
can you
get.
get clear what the point you're trying to make?
The point I'm trying to make is it's very simple. It's that we don't value it. What's called at the state of being. Like it's not what's it called. What I'm trying to say is you can say we can or cannot value the said thing. If we don't value the said thing, it wouldn't be nothing wrong with it. They don't hold no more value.
Well,
So it
I
was
mean,
called
listen, the point's just been
yeah.
lost here because this has already been addressed, right? The thing that I said was just that, well, the reason why, like, we can say that we don't value it currently at its state, right? And that'd be fine, right? But you know that doesn't lead into it being justified that you kill the thing or like you deprive it of its future experiences, right? That's the entire point of the deprivation is a kind of harm, right? What it says is
It's
that it is morally. Yeah, what I'm saying it is indexing to any sort of thing that you're talking about right now. That could be the fetus, that can be a seed, that can be quite literally anything. The reason why we don't deprive is because it's morally impermissible to, right? Because that's what the deprivation is, the kind of harm states, that
You said
depriving
it's more
something of its future
permissible.
experiences is bad. Yeah, it's morally impermissible because I'm taking the
Do what?
deprivation as the kind of harm.
Huh?
To deprive something of its future experiences.
You surprised someone with his future experience. Keep going.
Yeah, right. So if that's right, great. So if that's true, then um given even though that we do not value in its current state, we presumably have something in the future that we care about, right? And that being for you could be sentience, right? So given it's left undisturbed, it will grow into being that possesses sentience, right? And then you wouldn't think it's okay.
So when you said what's it called? At this certain state, we don't value, but we value what it can become later on. My question is, can you tell me one more time? So sorry. What's the connection on why we still value it before, not when it gain it? What was it called? That's what I'm asking you. Because the whole point
So
is,
why are you asking me why should we value it like in its future experience?
no, before you told me how why we
Oh
could
no, it's
because what
not.
it can become. So it
Uh-huh.
sounds like it sounds like an option. It sounds like we have something that doesn't hold no more value, but later on the line, it gains this. Like it gains this more value. I'm just still wondering what is the more obligation of what's called upholding on keeping the fetus what's called if you kill the fetus,
Because that's the
it would
thing
be
which is
more what's
moral.
called it want to be morally
Well,
correct. Right, I mean.
yeah, right. Yeah, right. But
Yeah.
okay, well then that just goes on. That just goes on into what I just said. So the thing is that what grants us the reason to say that it is moral. Well, in the first place, is one because of deprivation is a kind of harm, right? And what the deprivation is a kind of harm establishes is just that which deprives something of its future experiences is the thing which is morally impermissible. So the opposite of that, by saying that that which does not deprive something of its future experiences is not morally impermissible, implies that it's good. So given that that's good, that's a motivation and that's a reason to say that we should actually do that action because normally we do good actions, right? Actions are morally impermissible given that they violate some sort of harm. And I
It's
think
not
that
violating no
it's
harm
good.
though.
Well, it is right if we kill
To
a
what
fetus
harm?
before
To
it gains.
what is it harming?
Right,
What's
right,
being
so
harmed?
the deprivation of its future experiences, right? So, for example, if we talk about a fetus, if we kill the fetus before it gains sentience, that's depriving of its future experiences. And the future experience that we're talking about is the sentience that it gains.
So you wait. So are you saying you're harming in the future tense? Because it's not getting harmed. Okay.
No, the current harm that's happening is the deprivation. What the of part is just talking about these future experiences. What is being harmed is the future sentience that it gains. But what we're currently doing is depriving it of it, right? It's depriving it of those future experiences. But this is what the deprivation kind of harm says is wrong in the first place. This is why I'm saying it's morally
Yeah.
impermissible for us to kill a fetus.
Okay. So yeah. So I don't think honestly from my last argument is you say it's harm for us to do this that thing because what it can become or what it gains. But like it's just like the thing I used about the tree. That's like you eating plants or like you eating all the seeds from the fruit or what's it called in the fruits that to help other people or help yourself or your family. Instead of you going out and getting these seeds and planting it, help everyone. It's a decision.
Uh,
You can or
right.
cannot.
So yeah,
Don't
right.
the
So if
seeds
you're
don't hold the
talking about
same value
uh,
as like the actual plants of the tomatoes until they get to that. But I
Right.
was called.
Yeah,
Are you gonna
yeah,
say
right. But like that's not saying anything against what I just said, right? Well, what we've gone to is back in another circle. Now, I've said already that yes, it is sure it could be true that we do not establish more value to it currently, but what we do establish more value to, which you seem to agree that we do establish more value to the future experiences because what we care about is the future experiences, right? So whether actually it growing into a tree, like the seeds growing into a tree specifically, or the
Mhm.
tomato seeds going into a tomato plant, right? That is what we value. We value the tomato. We value and we value the ending state of it, right? So given that's true, then we do not. It could be the case that we do not value the current state it is, but we're just talking about the future state is the thing that we value.
Yeah. Okay, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he attacked on. He goes to conclusions
You want to go to conclusions?
because
I mean,
if this is the case,
mhm.
if you agree with like what's called with the analogy, the whole point of the argument is it's nothing wrong. What's called it's just a source or it's just a pref. Like you can go out. It can be your decision, but it kind of be like it's morally justifiable. Like most likely, it'll be morally justified if you do or you don't. We just a preference or you just recommend it on what you can gain. Like if you do this, you gain. We get another sentient, we get another being, but killing it or eating it, it wouldn't be wrong. It would just be morally justified. It's you killing a thing. What's it called? You killing something that can gain consciousness, but killing it now.
Well, this
But
begs the question, bro.
as a whole, no more value, or does it have nothing for what's it called? There was the whole no more value at all, like sentence, for example.
Mhm.
So I don't.
Wait, wait.
I just think it'd be more what's called morally justified, like killing
Well,
them.
this just begs the question, right? This just kicks the can down the road, right? So
What do you mean?
the entire point here is just that, well, um, the reason why it's wrong is because we're depriving them of future experiences. You're saying that, well, no, I don't really think it's wrong. Rather, I think that it's just something which is impermissible. But something being, morally impermissible gives us reason to not do it, and that also establishes why it's wrong. Wrong because it's
I
morally
don't even say
impermissible,
that.
right? I don't think
Like
that it would be good in the
like
first
I don't
place.
even say that because if you use the same logic, someone come in your house and trying to kill you and you kill them, I say that's morally justified. It's we value essentially we value life. This is a being. It's not like how can I put this? We still
If you're
value.
gonna go down the road where you say, well, there's exceptions to this, well, first of all, I'm not even sure if I would classify those exceptions as something which is morally impermissible. First, because I think like there being an exception there would describe why it's not morally impermissible, right? In the same sense, right? I think that, well, I mean, maybe if you're going under like an absolute deontologist view, maybe there's some reason there, but well, given that naturally it's an exception, probably wouldn't be morally impermissible, maybe. But
No, it's
but like
not. I'm not
any
trying to go
view would
down that
establish.
route.
Right, but
All
like
you
any view would
use it.
establish that an exception probably wouldn't be morally impermissible, right? Like, like it seems like the entire point of the exception is just establish, well, given this case, this is morally permissible, but all else equal, this thing is morally impermissible.
Oh my lord. I don't think. Oh yeah, what's it called? I just don't think we can just go to conclusions.
Okay, who would you like to conclude to?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, so I mean, Truth was here. Truth, were you listening, buddy?
Oh God, no! I'd rather get shot
No,
my boss.
Well, we can just have Truth give his opinions, and then you can just
I
figure
can
out
go.
which
I
ones you
didn't
want.
listen at all, nigga. I don't have any opinion.
Okay, great. So,
Yeah,
Rizhan, you
Ryan,
were
you won.
listening, right?
Yeah, I was listening.
Okay, great. So, without you being biased at
Here
all,
we go.
like
You do
nothing like that.
conclusions.
Nothing like that, right? Oh, I can just give my conclusion. So my conclusion,
Yeah.
I established the deprivationist account wrong, as well as talking about the future like ours position, which establishes that, something or the fetus is where we value future experiences. The fetus has a future like ours. So given that as a feature like ours, given the deprivationist account of harm is true, then depriving it of its future experiences is something which is morally impermissible, right? So we went down this entire line, in which basically he kind of just agreed to the view that, he's just been repeating the same point nonstop that, well, in its current state, well, it doesn't have any more value. So I think that it is good to kill it, even though it has its future experiences, without really giving an argument for why. But I've been explaining the entire time that, well, under the deprivations of account of harm, well, this thing would be morally impermissible, and I could grant the fact that it is true that it does not have any moral value in this state, but that does not mean that, well, it is now permissible to kill it or do anything bad to it, right? Because depriving it is a thing which is wrong. It doesn't seem like there's been any rebuttals to that or any arguments against it, so I think I won.
Does Ryan want to conclude?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go on.
Yeah, you can go through it.
Basically, the whole point I was saying was cause morally justifiable. You killing something that holds no more moral value, but it can hold more value in the future. It, like you value the present, but you also value the future as well. Or you still value the future. I was like, you can. I gave
Booty, booty, booty.
the seeds analogy, how you eat seeds, how you eat the plants now. Oh shit. What the
We don't eat seeds.
No, like we eat seeds, like on apples and well, I don't know what people like that. You know, it's
Say
like you say you
sunflower
get an apple
seeds. Oh
like
my.
sorry, I heard booty 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 booty. Okay, so sorry. So you eat like apple trees, right? Instead of you going out and know what this seeds can become, you don't go out and do it. Or you don't proceed or like planting the tree, making an apple tree and like more beneficial or I don't fucking call it. It helps society, whatever. All I'm saying basically is more than justifiable killing something now. Wisely doesn't have it, even though it's wrong for you to do it. It's still wrong. Like I agree to him, but like you should go on and do it. But I just don't see the issue or what's wrong with killing it now. I just think it's what's called morally justified for killing it now. Why it doesn't have this thing? So I believe it'd be more than wrong. You killed it after it gained it, just completely. Because it whole has some form of moral value. It instead of it gaining more value, but it doesn't happen now, and you kill it. Like you eat some seeds
Okay.
now, morally justified. It's like morally just. I don't say more just like it's nothing wrong. At least something wrong, but you understand.
Yeah, okay, look. I think it's clear that Penny won. And the reason I think Penny won is just if you just agree to his account of harm or that it's wrong under his account of harm to deprive the fetus, then all of his premises just follow. And so the conclusion also follows. And so
Oh my
I think he
god!
established the
Oh
conclusion in
my
his argument.
god! Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
Penny won.
yeah, I mean, like I don't know, like I don't really know. Like it seems like after all this, it just means like you've just been really agreeing. You haven't really been giving an argument against any of the deprivations of kind of harm thing, right? So there's been no arguments against this, right? So
Okay. That's crazy. So
yeah, I
if
mean,
one of his cells go through, all of it go through. When I literally say it's not likely sound. Okay, okay.
No.
Okay.
Sorry, you like spoke kind of fast. You said what?
Nah. Just say recording.
Yeah, we can say
We
recording.
got rid as far as his opinion.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
fucking
like, if anybody